If you remember last week I gave you, where is my data file? Here you go. So we'll be using is this one, our main popular data file called sample store. This is one we'll be using, and the second we'll be using is World Bank CO2. These are the two files we'll be using. So please check your data folder. Do you have this file? If not, I have to give you. I'm hoping you will have, because the same data file we'll be using for last 2 weeks. So give me a thumbs up if you already have this data file. Everyone, check it. Perfect. So let's start with the first exercise, sample store. So we'll start the Tableau first. So just search Tableau public in your local machine, Tableau public, and just start. Okay. Stop me anytime if you feel like something is not making sense or it is not clear. Okay. When you start the Tableau, we'll click on the Microsoft Excel, this file, and we'll use sample store. Okay. So let's start there. And I have here, so I'm going to double click on that sample store. And once you double click on that, you will see 3 tables on your screen, right? Last week we talked about joins, right? We talk about unions, right? So I'm not going to repeat that, but right now we are only going to focus on order. This is the table. So if you take this thing and drag and drop here, then order is the one we are analyzing. Okay, drag and drop here. So when you drag and drop, orders data will be visible. If it asks you on the screen, update, I normally do automatically. So it will automatically update it. So if there is a data refresh happen outside, it will automatically update it here. Give me thumbs up if you have this data file. Okay. If you're behind, if you have questions, please stop me. I'm hoping you are with me. Awesome. Now, this is a very popular data file, so that's why we are using. Now, let's say if you are observing this data, and if you feel like something doesn't make sense, or you say I don't want to work on this aspect, like example here, right? These are anything you have. And if you say, I don't want to do that, then you can add a filter. So I just want to give you a filter. Let's assume I'm going through that and I think I don't want to work on particular item. Let's pick one item, maybe anything you can say that I don't want to work on that. If like example, I have null, right? I don't have null right now, but if I want to remove something from my analysis, because I know this data, it's kind of easy language. Some data, I don't want to work on this. So that you can filter out. So here, let's say example, storage, I pick a storage. Let's say I don't want to work on storage, right? So I come here and on your right side, on top, you have filter. So let's click on filter. So when you click on filter, it gives you option what filter you want to add, right? So right now we don't have any filter. So I'm going to say add. Now you can see it is giving me all my columns. So these are my columns. And from there, let's say I want subcategory. So this is subcategory. Now in subcategory, if I say OK.
Can you please repeat again?
What should I repeat, Vibhuti? Are you here or no?
I am here.
Okay. Now click on add.
Okay.
Okay. So once you click on add, then click and add again, right? And
Yes.
here I'm going to select the column subcategory because I want to filter out something. You can pick any column of your choice. You can select multiple column also. So I'm saying subcategory. Say OK. Now this is very valuable. In Tableau, this aspect sometimes we call data selection. Very important. So it's very important that you always understand this concept because you will see most of the time this dialog box. Now, you notice that I selected subcategory as a column. So this is subcategory and these are the values. So like example, if I don't want stories, right? So I can pick stories, I can search stories, I can search it. And once I search it, I have a choice. I can select this and I can say exclude. So it means that part will not show in my analysis. So I can click here and I say exclude. Then it will not show up. Make sense? I can do many exclude. And as I cross here, you can see there is a small summary shows up here. It says that one of 17 items is excluded, selected means here I have excluded. Now I can add condition also. I can type here, I can select list, I can include, I can add a wildcard. So example, if I want to come here and I say anything contains, I'm in a wildcard. If I say anything contains, let's say furniture, right? So if I press enter, right? And you say include all value when empty, that's fine. Or you can say starts with furniture. If you do start with furniture, so something start with furniture, something ends with something exact match. Exact match means whatever I type, it has to be exactly. Here content means anywhere furniture. It can be here, it can be here, it can be here. Exact match means exactly same. There is no difference. Say for example, email address, exact email address. So you can define the condition if you want to. So this kind of wild card through, because if you have millions of product and you want to filter certain things, wildcard might be very valuable. Any questions so far? So far so good. So let's say I see furniture and if I say okay, so you can see here these conditions are here. So if I want to change that, if I do edit, you will see here I have now excluded one item and I have conditions that it has to be furniture, right? So while contains furniture, but I have not applied conditions and limit. If I want to do that, I can. If I want to change it, I can. So I can do multi conditions. Basically, you are taking a lots of data, and from that data, you are taking certain specific data, like example, certain specific data for your analysis. You can do that part. Right now, what I did is I say I want to exclude one item and everything which is the content furniture. So now if I do OK, and I have OK, so what happens here? I have zero data. Do you know why I got a zero data? Because my conditions does not give me any data. So I think what happened? So now if I go to edit again on the right side, I go to edit, something I filter, and according to that I don't get any data. So I edit, I go here and I edit again, and I can see that is there anyone have furniture? If I search, so there is no record has furniture. So so furniture conditions did not allow me any data. So this condition is not good, right? So I understand that this is not right condition. So I can just click here and I can either remove conditions because this is not helping me. So I click on the conditions and I say, I don't need this condition. So I can remove that. I clear that. Now, if I say condition here, in these conditions also I can say category count, and we'll talk about that today. I will be using something often, but you will see that I'll be using that. However, these are always, you will see these windows. So you need to be comfortable if you're going for Tableau certification, because these are the kind of things they will ask in exam to go here, go here, go here and do. This is nothing but data selector. Means available data. Using this, you're only selecting some of the data, not all of the data. For time being, I'm only keeping general and I search storage, right? And I excluded that because I make it exclude. So I excluded. Let's say I want to exclude art. I can click on that. Let's say I want to exclude envelope. I exclude that. So I excluded 3 items, and you can see that the rest of the items are not changed by me, right? Everything is there. Now if I do OK and OK, so I get the data, but I want to see storage and art and the other item. So far, any questions? Good. Okay. Now they ask in exam one concept called alias. What is alias? So sometimes you may not like something, like example. Just think example, you have instead of category, let's say your name is cat. But you say, no, cat doesn't make sense. I want to write category. So this is the original name and you want to have a name for reporting purpose. So reporting purpose, you want to write a category. So this is the alias. Source is cat and new name is category. Example, here I have postal code. But let's say I don't like that postal code. I like zip code. Because my customer only understands zip code. But this is your source. So source is zip code, sorry, postcode, postal code, and alias is zip code. So if you double click here and if you change it, it will create alias. I normally don't change from here. I change from inside. I'll show you. But you are allowed to change the source to alias and you can map it. Original data still remain as a postal code, but during analysis, it will look like a zip code. So that is one thing we'll discuss about it. Okay. So right now we are about to start analysis. Okay. We apply filter. You can apply any more filter also if you want to. You can not only apply filter here, you can apply for cells here. So like example, I want to apply filter for cells. So I go to edit. Please follow me. Go to edit. And now I'm going to add another filter, cells. And then I can select what kind of cells filter I want. So it's a range value. So it's a minimum value right now. It shows like a 0.44 and maximum value is this. So I can say, hey, I don't want to analyze 0.44. I want to start with minimum 1000 or maybe something like pick a number. Like example, I want to start only minimum 5000. So that's your starting point. It means you are not analyzing the data which is less than 5000 because you may think it's not worth, right? So you may want to specify that. Again, it means this data will be excluded from your analysis. You can also say at least, means start from here and up, at most, like that. You can specify whatever you want. And special conditions also, null, non-value. So I can say non-null value, right? I don't want to have a null value. So non-null value I can specify here. So it means all value in the cells, if it is null, it will be filtered out. So you can pick whatever you want. But here I can say by default 5000 to this I'm asking, and I'm not checking this box. It means it will not include null. It means there will be value for the cells and it will be in this range 5000 to this value. Now I do okay. So you can see when I do okay, there are so many data is refreshed, and now this is a large value of sales data. Please understand, when you analyze, you don't want to analyze all the data. We talk about, right, when you get the data, those are historical data. From there, you take a reference and then you clean up and then you take a data because you analyze only which makes sense to you. Otherwise, you will be wasting a lot of performance. Because you have data, sometimes you have 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents. Why you want to analyze that? You don't want to, you want to exclude that. So you get like subset of the data which you can properly analyze. So right now, my data is good to go. Any questions so far before I move forward? Okay. Now, these are the three things you need to understand. If you are working on a Tableau, these are the three things you understand. You know Tableau very well. The first one is the worksheet. Worksheet means one visual. So one worksheet means one visual. So you can have one visual, like you can have in a chart, or you can have in a pie chart, or you can have a map. You can have a map. So you can create as many worksheets you want. Ideally, you should create more worksheets like that. Each one should have its story. So example, if I'm doing profit by region, profit by category, profit by state, profit by, I can create that. So this is the story. Each has one visual. So worksheet is our number one word. Mostly you will spend time on that. Then you have dashboard. Dashboard is like this. You have a screen, and in that screen you are going to use your worksheets and plug it in, and you're going to create a window, floatable window like that. I'm going to show you something today. So you can use all your work as a small window, but you cannot just go to dashboard. You need to have worksheet like 1, 2, 3, as many you can have, and then you can pick what you want. You don't need to have all in. You can say, I want to create a dashboard. That dashboard with first 4 visual, and you can align that. You can also do like this type of align. You can have one visual is going like this horizontal, and you can have 2 visuals are taking vertical. Again, choice is yours. I'll give you some like what do you call best practice material, which I have found from Google. I'll provide you how to create this dashboard. Please understand, interview perspective. Dashboard should not have too many visuals. The rule of thumb is around 6 to 9 visual in a dashboard. If you have more than that, then your dashboard is pretty busy and it is not readable. Professional people do around 6 to 9 max. The less is better, so 6 is best, 9 is the most. After that, it will become busy. When you create a dashboard, you have to think about 3 aspects. First is always KPI. First is always KPI, key performance index, which you really want your audience or your or researchers should get it. The second is it explain like example, if I say profit 10 million, if I say profit 10 million, the second visual somehow explain how 10 million, right? And maybe what. So what and how, somewhere you address that. So 10 million, if you say, hey, profit is 10 million, then how? Then I can say 3 products are very popular. Their what do you call sales amount or whatever the amount we got from there are made up this 10 million. So how we made 10 million? Because of 3 products we sold a lot. And what? So each city or state which are contributing to that sales, it has to have some kind of story. And then you can definitely do beautification, which we'll talk about next class, how to create. Today, I'm going to show you how to create dashboard with a very step-by-step portion. So you will not have any problem. And next week, we'll do decoration aspect. Okay. So that's a dashboard. Can I create a multiple dashboard? Yep, of course you can create that. So example, you have a profit disc, the same thing. You can have sales visuals and you can have other things. So you can have many worksheets. You can have many dashboard. So far, so good. One dashboard can include many worksheets. Now the last one is called story. So story is nothing but think about a small book, kids book. They have multiple pages. Most of the kids book have 10 pages book, right? Most like kids, see, like kindergarten type of kids, they have like 10 book. Now the story can have worksheets or you can have a dashboard. So you can have dashboard 1, dashboard 2, you can have worksheets. So you can have combinations and you're allowed to go to page navigation like that. And you can go backward also. So example, during presentations, like example, you have a meeting with the C executive and you want to tell about your company health. You're not going to use PowerPoint. But the PowerPoint, the biggest problem in a PowerPoint is a static, but the storytelling is a dynamic because you can interact that, right? And when you interact, you can do a lot of good things there, which I will show you next week, but you can interact. It means you can, if you click here and you say, you can show the worksheet. If you click here, you can see this dashboard and you can filter, you can click on that and you can filter and all, you can create a filter here. And based on the filter, you can show it while you're talking, you can also show. So example, if I'm going to say this, hey, look at that. Our profit is coming from this 4 region and you select the region, especially the central region or west region. These states are doing good, especially in that state we are doing this product. So you can do interactive, and that's why people love it. And then after that you can publicize that. So when you publicize that, that will becomes in a cloud. So when you make it cloud, now people who are Tableau mobile or Tableau dashboard or Tableau web, they can all see that. So your visuals are now available to the company, and you can also embed your visual in existing website. Any website you can add that. So this kind of way your visuals is now available, and people and whole organizations can use it. That's why your work can provide multiple values, not only your immediate managers or immediate customers, but you can expose. You can expose your worksheets, you can expose your dashboard, and you can expose your story also. Choice is yours, which we want to expose it. Questions? Question, everyone is clear? Story is the ultimate. Story can have dashboard or worksheets. Dash, dash, Dashboard can have worksheet only, and worksheet is the unit part. So in worksheet, one visual, but in dashboard you can have many visuals, and in story it's a many pages, and you can add as many pages you want. Normally people do 1 to 10 pages, and those pages you can have company logo and all. I'll show you also. Okay, question, concerns, doubt? Good, awesome. Okay, so now let's click on first worksheet here. So I'm double clicking on that, and when you double click here, you are getting the data column here already, and then this worksheets which you see here is coming from here. So I normally like to double click and change that thing. So I'm going to double click here, and I'll say profit analysis, profit by region, profit by region. So I did profit by region, right? So profit by region. Now here you can see here I have region. So normally what I do, I don't do anything, I just double click on it, right? So when I double click, you might notice that all my region shows up here. Tableau is a very smart. It figured it out that this is a spelling, and spelling very good on a table form. Because it's a spelling, it will pick up automatically this. But if I double click on state, it will say, oh, this has a globe here. Then it will bring you map. So according to the data, it will pick. If it is a spelling, just like that, it will normally pick the table. But if you have globe, it will pick this thing. If you have date or something, then it will try to pick like some kind of bar graph. You will see that. You can also pick it, but I like to do double click. Now, last week we talked about, and I want to repeat again, anytime you're spelling, those are nothing but dimension. And anytime you have number, which is like a hash sign, which is a green, so that's called green, and that is nothing but your fact. This is your fact. So fact and dimensions. I always tell people, make sure you understand, because in an exam or interview, people will ask you. The facts are green color. You might notice that. Facts are green color and dimension are blue color. Dimension are blue color. So dimension, blue color. So DB, dimensions, blue color, and green color fact, right? So any calculated fields are, it's a green color, calculated field, mean numbers. So you can also say GC, green color, calculated, means number. You can do max, minimum, average, like that. It's numbers. You see number sign, hash sign means GC. So green color, which is in our case is a calculated fact, which is fact. Now for a second, let's understand what we are talking about. So think about a company. A company, this is the company, and you are, let's say, C executive or CFO, right? CFO. So when this guy wants to see the company analysis, he has a various way to see company health. So when he see that, that is a dimension. So he want to see from this dimension, that's angle. So example, country wise, how are we doing? So, product wise, how are we doing? State wise, how are we doing? Region wise, how are we doing? Subcategory wise, how are we doing? So these are his view lens. Then we say, okay, in order, so how are we doing? So now he has a couple of options. We can answer through profit base or we can ask sales base. Now sales is kind of secondary part always. Profit is the always highest part. So if he say dimension wise, like country wise, how are we doing? So country versus profit. If he say product wise, then product versus profit. If he say region versus profit. Sometimes he might be interested in sales also. So these are fact which helps us in this lens. How are we doing? So example, if I have 4 country, then I can see country comparison with the profit. So when I compare that, I know which country are doing good and which countries are doing poor. So this is the dimension. You pick the dimension country. Dimension, you pick a country. But if you want to compare, you need a numeric. And numeric is nothing but here profit. So you can now compare apple to apple because data in a numeric form. So that's why always you need to know what he is interested in. And then question is which lens. So dimensions are here, right? That those are your blue color and you pick that. So right now I double click on dimension region. Now I'm double clicking on profit. So double click on profit. So I got this thing. Okay. So you can see right now profit is here. Now you may be asked simple question that can you add total here? Because this is the entire company. This is like a 1, 2, 3 separate total profit. So this is the sum profit. You can see automatically when I double click, it did sum profit. So central wise, this is the I'm making profit, and waste wise, I'm making this. What is the total? So there are ways you can add total. So if you go to analysis, there are options available. So you can see here, you can say, I can add what you want to add here. You can say filter here. So you can see totals. I have totals, and you can see show row grant total, right? So column, so totals to left, so column totals to top. So I can use whatever I can say here. So row grant total. So when I do that exercise, I will show you the grant total, and I see here, and so column grant total. So you can see I got the column grant total. So you can see this is the column. So I got a grant total, but I also enable row grant total because right now it's only one. So it is not doing, but if I add additional item, it will keep doing the grant total. So let me show you again. Analysis, I can go here. I can enable any particular thing which I want to do automatic. So example, if I have column, I can do grand total here, but if my data is in a row format, I can do grand total without doing anything, just enable that part. Make sense? And then I can specify where I want to show row totals to left, columns total to this. We can do that part also. Any questions so far? So far, so good. Now, very interesting thing. If our managers are interested in, please pay attention. That okay, we are making total 47,000 profit. That's a good sign. But if I want to ask you, out of these 4, what do you call, region, how they are contributing? So example, if this is the 100% profit, then what percentage this region is giving, and what percent this region is giving? So if I want to know percentage, how do I get that? This is very popular question in your Tableau certification exam. because sometimes number helps and sometimes percentage helps. So example, if I show like a company profit with a different country, right? That's one way to see. But if I say the percentage, so if I say 50% coming from India, 30% coming from USA, and 10% coming from Canada, then it gives me more light to me versus number. Because you can see, I can see right away, this is a heavy contributor and this is the least contributor. But I still want to know relative. What for 100%, what is their fair share and what is their fair share? So that's what we want to do. So far so good. So how to do that part? So they have a various way to do. The easiest way I normally do is, this is the value, but I also want to have another column which can help me. It can help me to get the percentage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do profit. I put the profit here. I drag and drop it profit. So what I did, I drag and drop a profit here. So now if I drag and drop the profit, then if I click here, they give you quick table calculations. Quick table calculations. Let me repeat. See, I drag and drop profit here, and then I click here and I went to quick table calculations, and there are many more options available. So now I'm actually say percentile. So I have a percentile. You can see tiny symbol it adds. It means there is what you call some calculation happen. Now if I drag this guy and put it next to here, so you get some percentage here. So you can see here, you get a percentage here. You got a percentile. So this is here 66%. So if I think this is 100%, if this is 100%, so you can see this is around 66%, and this central is a percentile of the thing. So it means, let me change this thing so it will be easier. If I click here and change to percent of total, I think that will be easy. Percent of total. Let me repeat again. I go here and I say percent of total. And now you can see right now, it gives me clue that this central is 40% of the total profit. It means this value, if I draw the pie chart, the slice of that will be 40%. And if I see this one, east will be 39%. And then waste will be around 19%. Yes, Murthy.
Just can you go back? How do you get this measure the values? I just missed it.
Oh, you'd miss? Wow, how can you miss it? Right. First of all, did you do both of this?
Yeah. In the top panel, okay, but below this.
No. Focus here. I didn't do that. It automatically came there. So I did here. Did you do like drag and drop profit? Do you have two items here?
I drag and drop profit under tooltip. Under tooltip.
No. You have to drag and drop here.
But nothing is happening if I drag and drop here.
Okay, let me start over for you. You have to be careful because this is like a lot of steps you have to do again.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do again because even I do myself, it will change that whole ecosystem. So I'm going to reset it. Okay, I'm going to reset quickly for you. Okay.
Thank you.
That's the reason I'm explaining drawing and all. Make sure everyone follow that because it will reset. I'm resetting, right? First thing, double click on a region. Right? See, I'm not dragging anything. I'm just double clicking. Right? And then I double click on profit. Right? So far you with me?
Yes.
And then I'm dragging and dropping profit here. You see I'm drawing arrow here, not on tooltip, here.
Yeah.
So you can do here, see? And then I'm picking one of them and then I'm clicking the tiny arrow. You can see tiny arrow.
Yeah.
And then I can say, you know what, I want a quick calculator percentage. I'm looking for percentage. So
Yes.
here I can say percentage of total. I'm going to select percentage of total, percentage
Okay.
of total.
Okay.
And then you drag this guy manually and put it before or after wherever you want, like this way. Makes sense, on? So you can see that it is showing up now. So far so good.
Yeah. Yes.
And then see my total disappear. How do I get my total? Analysis, total, and then you can say, because we have column, I'll say so column grand total. So now my grand total shows up.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah, no worries. Any other questions from anyone? Quite easy, right? This kind of questions you will be asked at least in 1 or 2 questions in the exam, right? Very straightforward. The most problem people are having is to find the grand total because they don't know that analysis has a total. And the second thing, getting the quick thingy, right? The quick thingy, quick table, people don't have. If I want to do rank, so if I selected a percentage of total, but let's say I go here and I say rank, what happens now? So it is giving me rank. It is giving me rank that which one is the best. So definitely central is the best. And then east is the second. And then south is the fourth. And west is the third, which is obvious, right? So it's a rank also. So sometimes in an exam, they may ask, hey, show me the rank. So you can get the rank also. Again, they might ask any question. So you need to just be careful what they're asking. And according to that, you can specify. The quick table is very, very, helpful. You can use it, depends on your need. In any case, if you want to do, if you made a mistake and if you want to go back, right, you can do, there is a back arrow is there. You see this here, back arrow. So if you do back, you can do undo. So if you say undo, and you can go back. So you can do also. Question, concerns, doubt. So this is my one analysis. Okay. Now let's say I want to say, okay, I got this, but how central is doing this for you? In that case, I need to break it down central. So normally we call tree structures. So like example, first of all, we say profit by region. So region we've broken down into 4, east and all. Now we are breaking down this. How do we want to break it down? So you have a couple of options. You can break it down based on maybe state. You can break it down based on category. You can break it down based on subcategory, like that, depend on what interest in. So this one gives you central is doing good, but then you say in central, how are we doing? So let's say I want to know categories. So if I have category, I do have category, right? So I can double click on category, right? So, or I can drag this category here. So please understand what we are saying here. This region is a starting point, which is this one, which is on the row side. So if I drag category and put it here, then each region I will have a category. Each region I will have a category. Make sense? If I drag this guy, category and put it here, then category, each category will have region. So it depends on how you put these pills, and you can rotate around. I'll show you. So normally, sometimes when I double click on it and I see what is Tableau doing. So I double click, check it out. 1, 2, 3, double click. So Tableau automatically determined that this is going to be like this. So you can see now categories. I double click on. So region is the first and category is second. So you can see region is the first. Under region, you have category. Under region, a category. Make sense? And you might notice that this each category, you are getting this information that what percentage this category is contributing in the total profit. Pretty good, huh? Right? Now, this is the one category. This is second. So if you want that type of total, right now, this is the grand total. But if you want total here, total here, total here, you can do that also. So if somebody asks, this is right now, you have to do manual. What is the total, right? 23. And if you want to do that, it's a 39. You want to do then manual, right? But if you want to do that part, you can go to analysis, right? And look for total and see if there is a available. So if you see here, so row grand total. So if I click on that, there is nothing row here, so nothing shows up. But if I say total, and if I say column, add all subtotal, right? So if I do add subtotal, now you can see you have nice, beautiful visualizations here. This is, so your manager doesn't have to ask you, it's automatically calculated for you. Pretty good. So analysis sometimes are very, very helpful. You can do that part quickly. Questions, concerns, doubt. Good. So I'm going to keep this visual like this because we cover quite a good here, and I'm hoping you enjoy that. So now I'm going to create another visual which you may like that as well. Any questions before I move forward? Okay. So now let's click on this worksheet and double click on that, and we'll say here region, profit versus sales. So we are going to still focus on region, but we are doing profit versus sales. As soon as I change this, you might have seen this is changed. Now, anytime this is, if somebody say what is the dimension, what is the dimension? So you will know right away dimension is a spelling. Yes, any question? Maybe someone has unmuted.
Yeah, actually, I have a question.
Go ahead.
This in the previous visual, in measure values, you have 2 times the sum profit.
Yeah, because you have two columns, 1 and 2, right?
Oh.
One is just look like that, but they are actually, this one is contributing percentage. Remember I showed you how to create a calculator?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's why it is. You can do many times. That's the art of this visual. This is very interesting visual. In exam, guaranteed this question will be there.
In the above sum profit, where it is going?
What is it?
In the under the tooltip,
this one?
Yeah.
This one we are not using it because we are not moving tooltip. This can, if I switch different chart, then it will show up. This is automatic created. This is automatic created. I did not do it. I just focus here.
Okay.
Tableau does this thing. Tableau does this thing for visuals. So if I do like line chart and all, then this will be useful for that. But for this one, there is no tooltip.
Is there any significance for the T and the 3 circles?
Yeah. T stands for tag. Yeah. T stands for tag, and circle means shape. How big it is. I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you that part.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have that exercise, so it'll help you. When you see that, it will try to help you. So I'm right now in a second tab. Can I count everyone is in second tab? Yeah, awesome. So please understand, anytime you are doing the analysis, the first 2 things you need to understand: what is my dimension and what is my fact. So here I will be using 2 facts. And what is the dimension? Region. It is also possible people will use multiple dimension also, region and category. So that's the 2 dimensions, right? And fact, but here I use 2 dimensions. If you remember, we use profit, my mistake, region and category. And then profit was my fact, right? Here I'm going to do other way around. I'm going to use 1 dimensions and 2 facts, profit and sales. And that is very interesting. You may like it. This is also exam questions. Okay. The reason I'm explaining this step by step, so you can watch recording. The last thing you do is don't watch recording, because Tableau, this kind of things, which I just did right now, it's not easily available in Power BI. It is, you have to spend a lot of time to do so. Tableau make it easy. So certain things Tableau has a really good thing. And this is one of the good thing I'm showing you. Okay. Now the second good thing I'm showing. Okay. Ready? So first thing, what is my dimension? Region. So double click on the region. And then it is asking profit. So double click on a profit. And then it is asking cells. So double click on cells. So I want to analyze that. So you can see here right now, region, profit, and cells, right? So region, profit, and cells I have. Now in this situation, it's not more impressive because people can read it good. That if I want to read, this is a very simple visual. I can keep it like that. But I want to make a very fancy visual, a little bit interesting, so you can see that. So at this moment, can I count everyone has this thing, right? Profit and sales. We have two facts, one dimensions. Good? Okay.
I got a question here.
Yes.
Actually, I'm showing here different numbers than you have there. Why
Don't
is
worry.
it?
Because remember the filter I apply?
Okay.
Your filter might be different than mine. So remember I apply filter.
Yeah.
And because of the filter,
I see,
my data is
I see
different.
everything that. Okay, I see everything that I see on your screen. I just different numbers here, but
that's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry that because that filter might have different. I have applied filter and you might have different filter. As long as you are seeing something, which is good. As long as you are seeing like a profit and sales, I'm hoping you are seeing something in profit and right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see everything. Yeah, just different numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Now, listen carefully what I do. Okay. I'm holding control switch. Okay. I'm holding control switch and I'm taking some cells and putting on the size. Do you see that? Let me repeat. I'm holding control switch, means I'm holding control switch and I'm dragging and putting on a size. So what happened? I got some size here. Right? Do you see the square a little bit? Because I drag, let me do control Z. So what happened? I am holding control switch, means I need this thing and I can put it anywhere I want. Okay. So if I do that, it will add that thing here. Check it out. So if I say I'm holding control cells, I'm holding control and putting on size just for learning purpose. I'm doing size. So you can see it's showing square here, a little bit square here. And that square shows like this is like this square and this square. You can see this one a little bit bigger, but it's not that much clear because size means based on number. If this is the highest, then this will be a second highest, and this will be third highest, and this will be small highest. That's what size is for representation. Doesn't make sense more. So I'll do Control Z, or I can do this thing. Okay. Now I'm holding again Control Z through. I remove that part. Right now, see here. I'm holding Control and I'm dragging that on a color. So if I click on color, you see there is a color shading happen. So what happened? I hold the control switch and then I take it and put it here. So that color shading happen. So the dark the color, the best value. Dark the color, the best value means highest value. And lighter the color is low value. So it will change the value according to that. Also, it does sometimes based on the region. So here you can see here, central has different color, east has different color, south, but the colors shading doesn't help. So in that situation, you can do one thing. Rather than doing this, I'll do Control Z. Rather than doing this, Control Z means undo. If I want to have a different color for region, rather than doing this way, I would just select region and put it on color itself. So you can see now it's better. Do you see that? So sometimes, you need to think about which one is better. There are tons of options available. So region putting here is much better color I get than I put it from here to here. But there are areas I will use this. There are areas I will use a drag and I drop. So Murthy asked like, what is the significance? These are all have a significance right now. So if I put it here to here, so region is now colorful, right? Now, let me show you again. If I put region and put it in size, right? So you can see that the font are also changed. So I put region to size Do you see that? Fonts are changed. So you can see the different region has different size. Again, you can define that which region has a size and all, but overall, right now when I drag region and all, it does change. Sometimes it might be useful, but not most of the time. So I'm going to do Control Z. I'm going to do, but each one has a meaning here. Okay. Each one has a meaning. So far, you guys with me? Right? Now I'll show you something which is really, really cool. So let's get started. This is just a demonstration. Now, the most important thing, whenever I do region, profit and sales, table is not more interesting. Most people, what they're interested in, please understand, they're interested in like this. If I have region 1, region 2, region 3, I have region. And then I have profit. Okay. So profit or sales, whatever, let's assume this is sales for time being. Then they're interested in how are we making profit like that. So this is a profit, but this is the sales and this is the profit. So there is another axis which is called profit axis. So here profit is the axis, which is the blue color. Sales is the axis, which is the red color, and the region is the x-axis. So this is called dual axis, means profit axis, sales axis. Very, very important thing. Very important thing. And this is guaranteed in your exam. Okay. So how to do that? It requires a lot of steps. Okay. But once you understand, it's pretty piece of cake. If you do first time, you will normally make mistake because it's a little bit tricky. Okay. So let's get started. So right now I'm going to convert to graph, which is the bar graph. So here is the bar graph. I'm going to convert to bar graph. If you don't want to convert to bar graph from here, there is another options available here. You can convert to from here bar graph like that, or you can convert from here. I like this one. So this is the bar graph. So I normally convert here. This is I like, but I don't like this view, horizontal view. So if I don't like horizontal view, I can transpose. Which is this one. So if you notice that there is a transpose available, I always use this thing because I like bar view rather than this one. So I like this view. So let me know. Are you guys with me so far? Today only forum is responding. Everyone else, are you guys with me or no? Okay. This is very cool actually. And more often you will see in your data analysis graph. Okay. Ready? So what happens suddenly? The two facts are visible here, but they are on rows. So you can see profit and sales. This axis is profit, this axis is sale, but the common axis between theirs is the region. So now let's say I want to do something colorful here. So just like that, drag the region. See here, be carefully, see what's happening right now. Drag the region and put it in a color. So what happened? Both are colorful. Okay. Now I have a problem. Problem is they are two different. This is one chart and this is second chart. What I need to do is blend this chart and create a one chart with two graphs. So these profit, let's say example sales, let's just take it. Sales supposed to be here, profit supposed to be here, and the graph. And if I do both graph together, it will not look good. So I want to play around one graph first. So check it out. So let's say I want to play around profit graph. So click on that. So if you click on this pill, what happened? This profit, this pill, when you click here, you see this has become highlighted. Okay, make sure you pay attention. Otherwise, what did you do? Because that clicks, when you do the clicks, right? Sometimes, I have to do a lot of reverse because Tableau doesn't maintain properly. So it's a little bit caveat. So make sure you click on profit, not sales. So I click on a profit and I see here there is a bar graph and I say, I don't want bar graph. So check it out. So right now, this is the next thing. So I can say, I don't want a bar graph. So now I'm going to change this thing. See what happened. Line graph. So only that is changing. Example, circle, example, whatever shape you want, right? So you can see everything I am able to do, but let's say example area, but I thought line graph would be better. So I use line graph. So far so good. I selected profit and I'm changing that line. But line without label doesn't make sense. Line without label doesn't make sense. So now what I'm going to do, I need this thing label. So you can do one thing. You can select here and right click and you can say mark label, always show, always show. So that will show the label. Make sense? So it's wherever I click, it is showing. I don't like that. So there is a way you can do. So don't do anything, just see here. You can hold control. You can hold control and then drag this guy and put on label. So hold control. So hold control and then drag and drop on label. So you can see now nicely everything is showing up. If you want one item, you can right click and mark label show. But if you want this item, shows up here. So I decorated this so far. Any questions so far? So far so good. I'm hoping you are with me. Okay. Now I will do the same thing. Now I know how to do. So control, hold control. Click, first of all, click here. My mistake. Click here, sorry. Click here first, cells. Click on cells. Click on it. So I click on cells and I want to decorate that also. So I click on the cells, I hold control and then I put a label. So that part is clear. So cells is here, right? You can format dollar and all. We talk about that, how to do dollar and all. So you can click here, right click and format. You can do that part later if you want to. But right now both graph is ready to go. So now I'm going to merge it. Okay. Now I'm going to merge it. Ready? This is very straightforward now because we have done it. So what I want, cells, on cells I want profit. So cells is here and profit is here. So I'm going to drag this guy and put it like this. So you can see here, cells is here. I can move it around. So cells and profit is here. Now cells is here, profit is here. Now I'm going to click on profit. There is a tiny arrow. So I moved around. Please understand, cells is first, profit is second. Now there is a tiny arrow. And in tiny arrow, if you go there, there is a concept called dual axis. Guaranteed question in the exam, dual axis. And you can see now, I can do that. Like that. Tableau, some reason changed my look and feel. No problem, I know how to fix it. But now I have two axes, cells and profit. It maintained my profit graph, but it changed my sales graph. I will not cry. I did not want, but somehow Tableau did it. But so far, you guys with me? So far, do you see the blended graph so far? Yes. Now click on some cells. Click on some cells and then click on automatic and do the line, bar graph. And now you can see now beautifully. You can see beautifully because I did some cells and then I click a bar. So you can see now I can see cells and then profit. So for these cells, we have this much profit. For this, we have this much profit. You can do that. Pretty good graph, and you can make a little bit bigger by clicking here fit width, so it's more readable, and your management loves it because you are showing proper story about it. Because sales is one thing, so here I did fit width. You're showing your managers, hey, this is the sales, but the profit we made this much. This is the sales and profit. This is like you have to play around. There is a trick here, I'll show you. Then this one. Play around. So you have to play around this part. Okay, I'll show you how to play around. But this graph is much more valuable. And many times you will see this type of graph people will ask you. Okay, questions so far?
Yeah, so this is basically one graph is bar graph and one graph is line graph, but they are just on top of each other.
Yeah, it's a blended.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Now, okay, now this typical, this is called labeling issue. Even my current work, we have this thing. Okay, I don't do Tableau or Power BI, I automate this thing. So we do Python and R through automate this thing, but we do the exact same thing. So now label, you see, this is the hodgepodge. This is more readable. This is, so you can do that, and there's a trick for that. Okay, so the trick is very simple. This is coming from somehow this tag, right? This tag is causing trouble, but the tag is, each one has a different tag. See here, this guy has its own tag, right? If I click here, this guy has its own tag. So if you play around one tag, I think mostly problem will solve, because they all are writing on the same place. So we can pick one and try to give a space and it will solve the problem. Many times in an exam, they will ask you how to fix this problem, which is very simple because they both are writing on the same place. That's why it's overlapping. So easy, pick one. So I pick, let's say, sales, because that's the first one. It doesn't need to be first. I can also pick the profit, but process is still the same. Click here and then go to here. And we can right click and say edit. So I think format, I believe. Format. One second. Let me, one second, maybe here. Double click. Come on, where did it go? Where did it go? 1 second. It's supposed to be edit. Am I guys getting edit? Maybe I should click here. Yeah, here. Okay. So I'll do from here. So check it out. I click here, some cells, right? Some cells. Then I'm clicking on label. Okay. And then you can see here, there are different ways they are. So alignment automatic, right? This one off and on. So one, guys, I'm going to do on. See, right now I'm going to on. So when I do on, right? And then one guy, I would say like this. You see that magic happen? Make sense? Magic happen. Now you have to do at least one, otherwise this is not readable. So they both are here. Now the problem is, this is right. If you are saying 920, this one. So this data is definitely associated with our profit, and this data is available here. So you can see I added here that, hey, you are showing right side and you are on top, right? And problem solved. And I can make it bold also if I want to, or align this thing, that thing, left, right, whatever ways you want. And now your problem is solved. This is the exact question they ask in exam. How do you make it readable, right? So you have a couple of choice. Either you pick this one, let's say example, I pick some profit, right? And then if I go to label, there are many options available. So here in label, if I go to text, right? If I go to text here, in label, I go to text, right? Either one you can pick, doesn't matter. And then you go here, you have this thing. So you can say, you know what, for profit, I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make profit more bigger font, just an example. And I'm going to make it, let's say profit is a good thing. So it's a green, I'm going to make it green color, right? And maybe I'm going to use different font like that and apply. Now there won't be any doubt because it's a profit. Make sense, right? So again, very simple, click here. This is a tiny thing, but it's very, very important. Remember, presentations is the art. You click here, then go to here, and then you click here, and then you specify, right? Allow label on overlap, other mark, no, you don't want to do it. You click here, right? And you can do all the massages which you want here. You can do that part. Good. Question, concerns, doubt. So this is our second visual. I hope you like that. Good. Say yes, like, no, good. Okay. Now, I'm going to add another visual. I'm going to add another visual. And this visual, I'm going to have we'll say profit analysis. This is a little bit harder. Okay, I also make mistake. This is the what if analysis. I'll try my best and see if it works well. Okay, profit analysis. So we are going to do profit analysis. So let's think about what we are trying to do. So I want to know like certain things. Example, 15% profit, just an example. If I say 15% profit, so who is giving me? I want to know. So 0 to 15% profit. Or I can say, who is going to give me 0 to 20% profit, like that. Or we can say, who is giving more than 20% profit. Or we can say, who is giving 20 to 40% profit, like that type of analysis. You can do that, right? So for this type of analysis, what should I do? So for this, I'm going to start with the state. So let's do state. So double click on state. So state is here, right? I'm trying to make it interesting. So it's not like a simple Tableau exercise, but it looks like a case study, right? So you can apply this thing for your project. Otherwise, learning Tableau by click is not fun, trust me, because there are so many click and there are so many options, right? And that's not the way I want to teach. Like normal people teach, like, you know, click one by. I'm teaching like with the storytelling. So that way you can apply that. Even you learn 5 story, that's good enough versus knowing each and every options of Tableau, because you will not use each and every option, trust me. Just like Microsoft Word, each and every option lifetime you will not use. But if you have to write a format, how to create a table, how to create an index, there are, we call 80-20, right? 20% activity you use 80% time, and that's what I want to make sure you understand. So first I double click on state. Now you can see the map. Do you like the map? Gray color map. People say no, I don't like the map. So Tableau is the one of the best software. They give you customization map. So if you click on the menu, map. Okay. So if you click on the map, so they give you background map, and you can give you options what you want to enable. Make sure you see on the screen. Let's say I want to enable street map. Just snap. This is for learning purpose. So you can see how you do this kind of question they may ask in the exam. So you can see nice, beautiful street map. Pretty good, huh? Like it. Some people like it. Like example, if you want to have map, just play around couple of map, like example, outdoor map. So this is if there is a different concept of that. So example, if you want to do dark map, so this is dark map, right? Example, if you want to have aerial map, you can select that map also. So again, choice is your satellite, which is the aerial map. Make sense? So let's say some analysis, you will see that and say, how did this guy got map? He just toggled this thing, but you don't know the steps. So that's why I say, man, my map is not like look like his. It's just changing that. So right now I have state, and you can see it automatically figure it out. State, what do you call, circle through. Now let's double click on a profit. So we are making profit here. So double click on profit. So right now I have this thing, but it's not showing me my thing here. So I will switch back to our normal map. So here I'll go back to the lighter map. So here is the map, and now I double click on a profit, and here you go. So some profit is showing up here, and you can see based on the circle, my profit is smaller, bigger, like that. Okay. So how do I analyze that? But I don't like this map. I don't like this map because this map gives me circle. So I'm going to use this map, which is called field map. I like this map. So now it is like this. So what I did is I double click profit. Everything is here. I'm hoping you are able to see this thing as well. Okay. Everyone is able to see the field map? Good. Now, if I move my mouse, right? If I move my mouse, this mouse is showing you total profit value. But I want to show, let's say, percentage value. What should I do? What should I do? I showed you. Anyone?
Go to some profit,
Very good. Murthy knows
down
that.
arrow.
Quick table. And then you can say percentage of total,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, if I go here, it's a percentage. Make sense or no? Now, I'm going to hold control, and I'm going to take this item and put on label. So it will be visible. You see how mathematically we are doing? We are not just like doing that, like step 1, step 2, understanding that thing. So now we can see right away that we have profit, and some states, seems like some states are making loss here, right? You guys agree?
Even though I did it, it's not showing percentage for me.
Murthy, you have to drag and drop. Did you drag and drop?
Oh, I didn't. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So you can see here, I have two type of situation, right? Profit and loss, right? Minus means loss, right? Vibhuti, you're doing good so far?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now I'll show you something. Last week, I think I showed you, but I want to make sure I repeat again. Please understand. Profit and loss, you are not showing this way. You're showing in a green and red, right? So how do I do that? So first thing first, when we do profit, right now they are picking different color, which is not right. Green means good, right? Good profit, and red means bad. So in order to do so, you can see the color, click on color, and then you see edit color. Edit color. I'm hoping all of you are doing it, okay? Because otherwise I'm only doing it. Because when you do without me, or if you don't do along with me, then this will be pretty difficult for you all, because you may not know how to do all. And that kind of sometimes people frustrated because there are so many steps are there. But once you know it, it will be natural music. You will be able to do it, right? So let's click on edit color. And in edit color, look for red, green, diverging. Red, green, diverging. Red, green, diverging. So I'm going to do that. And then here, you can see here, it is saying red, green, diverging. So you can see right away, you are getting that. Now I'm going to click on advanced. I'm going to click on advanced for a second. Click on advanced. And there is a options called center. I want to check that. I want to check this. I want to check this also. The reason I want to do center, because it will give me 0 at like this line. Do you see that? This is 0. So I want to do that. So this will help us. So here you can see start, and don't do start and end. I don't think you need start and end, but 0 is important. Please uncheck that. Sorry for that. Just uncheck that. But 0 is important. So this way, at least we know the marker 0. It will pick this. It will pick this. If you are this side, good profit. If you're this side, bad loss, right? But advance through 0, so we know where we are here. Okay. Now apply. Now you can crystal clear say that there are certain state right now. I think I know Texas and maybe Florida. I think we are really bad. Do you guys agree so far? If you have this thing, give me thumbs up. You're almost there. Today your thumbs up is not coming. Yes. Question?
Anymore. Is that only
Sorry?
me? I cannot see anything.
You cannot see anything? What happened?
I don't know. I thought it's
You're not able to see my machine, or you're not able to see?
Now I can see it.
Okay, it's an internet issue.
Okay.
Yeah, but are you everyone able to see green color and red color?
Yeah, now I can
states?
see it. Yeah, it was gone for a few minutes.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you. So at this moment, if you are here so far with me, you're doing great. Okay. Now, please, because see, I don't memorize all these things. This is like I have to think about an actor. So if I sometimes make mistake too. Now I want to do profit analysis. So I give this graph to my manager, and this is just a simple example that we have only 50 states, right? So our managers want to analyze 0 to maybe 100, right? Not even 0 to 100, maybe minus also, right? Let's say minus 2. This one is maybe 10% or something. So let's assume minus 10, and maximum profit is, let's say, minus. What happened, Melanie?
I'm sorry. Did I do something?
No, you are giving me bad thumbs up. So I thought,
Oh, that was an accident. I'm so sorry. I would never give you a bad thumbs up.
no problem.
Down.
No worries. So minus means these are loss. So manager may be interested in, right? So we're gonna create something called minus, so you can analyze, and positive you can analyze, and this is called what if analysis. Sometime during interview they will ask you this question, so that's why I'm step by step doing this thing, right? But what if analysis, you need a slider. So I'll show you the problem and I'll also show you the solution. Okay, so how do I get a slider? So slider is nothing but filter. Okay, so how do I get filter? So again, trick is very simple. Remember, hold control, and out of this, one of this, we can pick it up. So right now we have color thingy. So please here, hold control, right? And you drag, and drop here. So as soon as you drag, you got the option, right? Make sense or not? Let me repeat again. You hold control, drag, drop here. So now you get control. So our manager can analyze. So example, he is saying this is the value he has, range of value. So this is the percentage, so the minus percentage, and this is the percentage. Okay, so this is the highest, seems like 17%, I believe, somewhere he has. Yeah, this one. Okay, so now manager wants to do this. You can see here, he can do this and say apply. So you can see now this is 0, sorry, minus 8, and this is like a 0.97. So if I do that, like almost 0, so you can see these states are in loss. He want to do other way around, so he can tag this guy here and say how we are profitable. So you can see he's going to middle, and we can say apply, and you can see these are the profitable states. Make sense? So he does analysis, but this required ugly view. So is there a way I can give my manager something dashboard view? Because this is called Tableau gives you, right? This option, managers will not get this type of option when I publish the report. So I need to do something like that. It may not be the best, but something like this. So in order to do that, we need to come up with a very simple activity, basically called condition activity. So we can come up with the one parameter. And we can say profit percentage here. Please understand, profit percentage. And this parameter, I can create a slider. So my manager can move it around the slider. And then profit perspective, everything will change. So that's what we wanted to do that. The question is how to do that. Okay. So now, first thing first, on a wide screen, right click here, and then you create parameter. So you create parameter. So when you create a parameter, I'll say profit margin, so I'll say PM. parameter name is PM, profit margin. Let's write profit margin if that might help it. Profit margin. So this is my parameter, profit margin. Now, what I really want is manager has a wish list. He want to see the profit margin, right? And we will add profit here. So if example is a 10% profit, then all the states will show up less than 10% profit. If it's a 50%, then it will, so he can around, we can create multiple parameters, but concept you will get this thing, right? So profit. Now I have options here. What type of margin you want? So data types you want. This you can take a data type, display one, no problem, current value, no problem. So here I'll say range of value I need, range value. And I want percentage, profit percentage, right? So I'll say minimum 1. Let's do minimum minus 10, right? And maximum, let's say I do maximum is 30, just an example. And my step, let's say to 5. So I start with minus 10, I'll go to maximum 3 and I jump around 5. So this is what my profit margin variable look like. So if I do this thing, I'm creating a parameter, which is a range. It will start with minus 10 and it will go to 5. Sorry, my mistake, 30. And there will be a slider which will jump. Every time I click, it will jump 5. So I can use this value. I can slide this value and the managers can do what if analysis. Okay. There are a lot you can do here. As you go further, you will be able to use different things. Like you can also use a column and all, and we'll talk about it. But right now, this is our variable name. We selected, we want range. We selected all, and we selected starting minus 10, ending 30 and 5. And now we're going to do okay. So far, everyone good? This is my variable name. When I say parameter is nothing but you dynamically choose that, dynamically choose it, parameter. This is the name. And these are the, you can do whatever value you want. This is just an example I'm picking and I'm doing okay. So when I do okay, you will see one item is added here. Okay. Now I want to just do preview. So if you right click on just click on the tiny, not right click, tiny arrow, you will see tiny arrow. So if you go there, there's a tiny arrow, you click on that and say, show parameter. Show parameter. So if I click on here, show parameter, it will show, but you will not see that because this chart is hiding you. So click on show me and it will show up. And you can see now that is showing up. And you can now slide it. Anytime I slide, it will be sliding by 5. Do you see that? It is minus also and maximum also. Let me know if you are able to see this thing. Give me a thumbs up if you are able to see that. Okay, good.
But I can see that, but nothing is varying in the map, right?
Now, map will not change because we have not added any condition yet. I just want to step by step. First, we created parameter, and second, we saw slider. Yeah. Are you able to see? When I move mouse, you can see the minimum value minus 10 and maximum 30.
Yes. Okay.
Now we need to make such a way that if I move it, this thing should change. And if that happens, we'll take a break. Okay, because that is something called what if analysis. So how to do so? So first thing, this is all percentage. And I need to use this thing to display. So this is profit, but this is the state. So this is state and there's a profit. So I need to have for state related conditions. So let me see how can I do. In order for me to do that, I only have one option, and the option is filter. Because if I filter, if I click here, see here, if I do here, right now it's not happening, but if I do here, it should filter. So how should I do that? So let's try this thing. So in this one, we're going to do edit. So we're going to edit filter. We'll say edit filter. But this one, you can see, it does not allow me any options. So this is not going to help me. So this filter is not going to help me. Sorry. So I'll say cancel. Why? Because it doesn't allow me any conditions options. Do you see that? There is no condition option available. So I can't use it. This is the kind of ready-made Tableau gives you, but I want my own. So it doesn't work. So first thing, cancel it. And I'm going to remove it. So that part. Okay. So I want to remove that. Yeah, I removed it. Okay, it asked me something. I removed that. So that part is gone. So far, you guys with me? I removed that. Good so far? Okay. Now, please understand. I'm going to see who is going to give me this. So I believe state will give me this because state has percentage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag state and put it in filter. I'm going to drag state and put it into filter. Okay. So I put it in a filter and it give me this option. So far so good. Now click on conditions. So it gives me conditions. Now you are going to click on formula. Now we know profit is one side and we know our parameter name is profit margin. So we'll try to write it and it will give me some hint. So profit, let's say here sum profit, right? So I'll say sum. As soon as I write sum, it writes sum. So you click on it. And then I'll write profit. So you click on it. And then you say less than profit margin. Like that. See? So I'm saying if sum profit is less than profit margin. So I added one conditions. So if I slide my window, initially I start, let's say, with -10. So anything is -10, nothing. Then I bring it here and say -5. Is there anything in -10? A couple of state will show up. Then I go here and say anything is less than 10, some state will show up. Anything is less than 30, all state will show up. That's what I want. What if analysis, right? Can I add a condition greater than, less than? Yeah, you can go crazy here. You can do whatever you want, right? Next class will show you LOD, level of details, and will a little bit make you advance. Okay, you will have fun. Okay, this is a little bit coding. You will have fun. But right now, this is good enough. So what we are saying in English, we are saying if I change this value, according to that, if let's say if I say 10, then how many state has profit less than 10? Show me all. If I said 1, then say how many states are less than 1 profit? Show me that, like that. So this condition has to be true. Now you say apply. Okay. There is no red color, apply. And you can see right now, I have 30, right? I have 30 right now. So if I go down 15 and 0, so it is not working appropriately. Why it is not working appropriately? Because this value is in percentage and our values are pure number. So it's still not happening. Do you guys agree? Condition is there, but still like not happening. So what's going on here? Why it's not happening? So let me see here. If I do edit parameter, let me click here, edit parameter, edit parameter. Our values are in a float, but still is like that. So let me see if there is a way I can do this one is a percentage, otherwise I'll do other side as a percentage. So here, this is like a higher value, so no problem. To cancel, let me go back to here in a state, right click on a state, edit filter, and profit margin, which I get a pure number. So I'm going to divide this thing by 100. Right? So if I divide by here, so this is some profit, because this is what we are seeing here, some profit, which is this thing. If this is 19%, right? Which is nothing, 19% means 0.19, right? And then this one will be fine if I do divide by 100. Let's see that if it works out well. Apply and okay. If this is working now, still not working. So what's wrong?
I saw one option where it said take the values from a field.
No, that is true. That is true, but one second. So filter. 1 second. Condition is here. 1 second. We will get this thing. Okay. Whatever value we are changing, it's not affecting. That's the problem right now. So let me, our formula which we write, right, it is not happening right now. That's the issue. Let me remove sum for a second and remove this thing. Then is it the formula? What is saying? The formula must be aggregated, or this thing. Formula must be aggregated calculations or refer only to this field. So we did that. The question is profit. So profit margin. So if I change profit, let me do greater than what is happening here. Okay, so it is working. If I do greater, so let's see what it is working now. So why it is working? So it shows some profit margin. So what is my margin? -5. Let me see that now. It's working. So this is there. But it is working one time only. It's not working. And I'm changing this. See, it pick here when I say, let me, does it have a refresh issue or what? Let's see. I have this. I check this. There is nothing here wrong. Profit margin. So I take a 30 here. Display format. Percentage. Yes. Oh, you see that? My goodness. That is huge. That's the reason we have a problem right now. The display format. Percentage. So I have to do this value differently. Got it. Minus 0.10 and here 0.30. Makes sense or no? Now everything is making sense. Let me do it, then I'll educate you, because I think something wrong happening here. So what I am doing here, display format is in percentage. So percentage means whatever value I do is going to be multiplied by 100%. So here I did -0.10, which is nothing but 10, because multiply by that. And this is 0.03, which is nothing but 30%. And this is nothing but 5%. Now I'm going to do OK. Now, okay. So still not, but good news, I can see percentage. That's a good thing. Okay. Now let me go back here, edit filter, and should not be like that, and I don't have to divide by 100. And now you do tada, okay? It should work. So 10%. No, why not? It's picking states, but only one time it picking. it is speaking that's for sure, but it's speaking only one time. Why is it so? See here, what is this value? Total profit only state, yeah. But if I say -10, why it is not taking that? 1 second. So here we say sum profit, which is we did that, less than profit margin, and we are changing this. And see here, we are saying use all, so use all, and this is the condition we are applying, selection. So here use all, and nothing is coming. You see that? Because these conditions we are using by formula. This is the formula. So conditions, some reason conditions is not happening. Limit by formula. Top 10, no. None. Conditions. Condition is right. Some profit less than profit margin. Our profit margin is this. Now, what is the profit margin? This condition, some reason, it's not happening true. So when I apply, see, when I apply, it picks like that. But when I come to here, something is holding this guy, which is not making sense. So select from list. Okay. Okay. Condition is here. Select from list. Apply. Now, okay. Now, nothing. Let me see what is wrong here. For a second, let me create another variable quickly, because it's something happened with the percentage, and I'm not sure why the percentage is not picking up. It says a total. Let's do one thing quickly. If I take only profit, so I'm going to put profit here. I think if I do profit, but that's what I'm doing. Here I have used percent, and that percent is not picking up by this guy. Got it? Because it is picking, see, it is taking profit, but not percent. So here that should be a way we can get a percent here. 1 second. Why am I? So he's talking, see, got here we selected profit as a percent calculated field, but here we are selecting, oh, got it. So it means this value has to be huge. So let me do that. So the value is not a percent. I'm going to use automatic, and rather than this thing, I think it's a number. So let's start with the -5,000. Got it. And maximum, let's say 100,000, just like that. And here step value, let's say 5,000. Okay. It appears it is using number, not percentage when I'm doing conditions. Let's say okay. Now what? Look at that. Do you see that? So it does work when I do the percent. You see that? Makes sense or no? Do you guys understand what's happening right now? See, this value which we have here, right? The profit part. So let me add this thing so you will understand. So some profit, I'm gonna put a profit on a label. Okay. So you can see here, when I add a condition, it applies to this one. It is not applied to this percentage. Okay. So we can easily work on that. So you can see this value is so high, right? So now I created, let's say I created my value as a numeric value. So I say minus thing and I say I will step value is 1000. Okay. So right now what happening, my profit is good. I put this number such a way that profit, if it is minus 50,000 or 100,000, I'll jump one by one, and that is my range here. So I say, okay. Now if I go here, edit filter, and I say conditions. So here's some profit. So some profit will be whatever you are seeing here, this number. So if this number is less than my number, then show. So now check it out step by step. So right now null, there's no one has minus 50,000 profit. So I jump it, no one is there, no one there, no one there, and coming closer, 24,000, no one is there, and look at that, 3,000, this many state has thing. So you can see that I am now able to pick based on my selections. And this is the number, not a percentage, but you can see now if the state has less than 3,000 profit, do you see that number show up? Then I say, hey, if I go for 4,000, less than 5,000, less than 6,000, like that. Make sense? Right? I can also right click and edit and I say, go to conditions and I can say greater than. I can also say greater than and I apply. So if I say anyone has greater than 12,000, 45,000, so no one has greater than. So if I say anyone 53,000, anyone is greater than 30,000, so 5,000, these are the only state has 5,000 profit, 5,000 or more profit. This state has. So this state has 5,000 or 5,000 plus profit. So if I go, anyone has more than 20,000? No. Anyone has 8,000? So there is a one state, which is in our case here as a profit. You can see here profit is 8,400. Make sense? So let's do after a break. Welcome back. Give me thumbs up if you're back. Awesome. Koi is back. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do this variable thing completely like a step by step. So in case if you have not understood, we can fix this problem. Okay. So first thing, if you have variable created, let's edit it. So that's where you are with me. Okay. So I click here and I say edit. Okay. And when you edit, change your values according to mine. So profit margin, that's your name. Float is here. And then these are three you already have selected, but here you write start with the minus 50,000, 100,000 and 1. So you are saying I will be talking about profit rather than profit percent. That's the main difference we are doing. Because when we did the, what do you call, the tiny arrow, right? Percentage, it doesn't really calculate the percentage. That was the error we had. So we are starting with minus 50,000, 100,000 and 1,000. Okay. If you are good with this, just do okay. That is the step one. This is the range you are defining, and this variable is our variable. Okay. Now do okay.
And display format is 8,000.
Yeah, that will automatically, this is under not our control. We just say automatic. So what happen is this value is picking up. This value is picking up. Don't worry about this. This is automatic. The only thing worried about this one. Make sure it's minus 50,000, 100,000 and 1,000. Okay. Now do okay. Once you do that, that's the step one. Then you right click in a state, you click here and edit filter. click here and edit filter. So when you do click and edit filter, you will see this one. Okay. In that, go to conditions. And when you conditions, add these conditions. So we are saying, hey, if your state has a profit more than what I suggest, show me that. So if I say 10,000, so if your state has more than 10,000, show me that. If I say 3,000, so if your state has more than 3,000 profit, show me those states. That's what we are saying. Okay. Now apply, okay. And then play around and see if you are getting the result. If you are getting, give me thumbs up. So you can see when I say 0 greater than 0, show me that these are all states which are profitable. So I can see that. This is called what if analysis. Many times in interview, people will ask you. Very important. We had a student like, you know, I kind of cannot remember her name now. She first went for an interview and this is the question asked. And she said, Tushar, whatever you explain, I explain, and it was wonderful. So this is same example. They ask like, you know, Miss, what if analysis basically? What are the steps involved? Remember your answer should have a parameter because through parameter you can change it. Now there is a question in interview. What is the difference between calculated variable versus parameter? Calculated variable versus parameter. So parameter, you have a sliding ups. You can change during analysis. Calculated variable, it's a snapshot. As soon as you do that, you have one value. But parameter, you have options. You can change while you are doing analysis. That's why what if analysis, normally you use parameter because you have options to modify it. But calculate variable, you don't have options. It is just a calculator. So last week, if you remember, we were doing like this, the total equals to, if you remember, total equals to math plus science plus English, right? So that you calculated and that is your fixed value. So if you want to do that, you right click here, create calculator variable. But calculator variable, you will not get a filter. You cannot do that. So here, if I right click here, just an example, if I right click and if I say calculator variable, that variable I cannot use anywhere here in filter, or I cannot use in a slider. So that you cannot use. So that's the difference. Calculator variable used for mathematical processing, parameter used for what if analysis. You can change it and you can do it. Sounds good? Okay, so now next